Good morning, everybody. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for having great opportunity to share with you and talk about Jingdong's innovations, technology innovations, what we do at Jingdong. So, to some of you who might not familiar with Jingdong, let me just say a few words about Jingdong. So, start with the two numbers. First, actually, Jingdong is actually the largest retailer online and offline in China. We have more than 230 million customers who actually come to our site and using our app on daily basis. What they do, they come in to buy daily groceries, from groceries to high-end luxury brand fashions. The second number I want to share with you is actually that we, Jingdong, have become the third largest world internet company by revenue behind Amazon and Google. And this is really a phenomenal achievement for the company. And actually in 2016, we achieved actually close to $40 billion revenue. Okay. All behind these two phenomenal numbers, I want to actually really tell you, behind these two numbers, there is very interesting growth story behind all this. So Jingdong, in the past 12 years, the annual growth rate is 150%. We're growing the revenues. And then actually in the past 10, 12 years, our revenue grows 1,000%. Okay. And what is the foundation? What's the secret behind all this growth? Actually, our founder, Richard Liu, laid out two basic foundations for our business. One is create the best customer experiences. Second, continue improving operation efficiency. In his view, Jingdong is e-commerce company, but more importantly, we're in retail business. So retail business, the key point is efficiency. And in the past 10 years, on these two basic ideas, we built our entire business on top of these basic ideas. That's why we lay out this no tolerance on counterfeit and fixed product policies. And the second one, actually, we in the past, in 10 years ago, in China, the logistic infrastructure is not as great as today. What happens actually, even Jingdong has a high quality product, authentic products, but when it is delivered to the customer, what happens is actually it either got damaged or got swapped with fake products. So Richard said, hey, this is not going to help us to control the end-to-end excellent user experiences. So he basically says, hey, let's build our own logistic network. You can see this idea of building a logistic network, it purely starting from creating the best user experiences. And then, as our company actually growing so big, right now actually you can see that we have 200 million customers, and our revenue is growing very fast, right? So basically, we're growing as business twice fast as industry average. So this is the growth story of the Jingdong. So next is what's going to happen next. What kind of a growth we're going to achieve, same type of growth. What actually fueling those growth and driving those growth, we believe is the technology. Technology is the key thing. Okay, so starting last year when AlphaGo became such a phenomena, and then later last year, everybody starting thinking and talking about AI technology, how that's going to changing world, how that going to changing every people's daily life. We have the same thinking within our company. We did a lot of discussions, and after 6 months, starting early this year, we lay out strategy, our AI technology strategy for the future. So basically, in terms of technology, you can think about in our business, we break down into three main areas. One is actually consumer-facing area, where actually consumer comes to our portal using our app to purchase products. That's we call it consumer-facing area. The second area is actually the supply chain management part, where we have 5,000 people are mainly focusing on daily basis. What they do, they basically decide what product to purchase, where they're getting that product, how much they're going to order, what's the price they're going to decide, and what kind of promotion they're going to do. So that's the second part of our main business. And the third part of our main business is actually our logistic network. That part actually right now we have very sophisticated and really large logistic network, which cover 70% of Chinese counties in some of the really remote rural areas. And in my next few slides, you can see that's posing a great challenge for us to really how to improve operation efficiency. Okay. In the next of my talk, I'll share 3 different showcase where actually in each of the areas where we apply technology to really improve our customer experiences, also improve our operation efficiency. And this all really anchored on innovation and technologies. Okay, so before I go to the details, I'll give you just one number. This happens about 2 weeks ago. June 18th is actually our biggest annual year sales event. And actually we sell 700 million of orders. What does it really mean? I'll give you a rough ideas. So Chinese population is about, 1.3 billion. So which means every one of the customer actually purchased something from Jingdong. So the number I want to show you here is really to show you as our business grows so big, our challenge is to become even bigger. And also in terms of technology, as a core growth facts, actually, it has a huge opportunities to create a big value for our company and also for our customer. Okay, let's play the videos. Okay, so the videos really just showcase one of our warehouses in Shanghai, which is a fully automated warehouses. The video really show what happened is actually the technology what we're thinking in the past. But what we're thinking in the future, which is I'm going to talk in the next few 10 minutes. Okay, so start with the first area of consumer facing. I have to talk about big data because as our business grow really big, our customer base, our business revenue, like on daily basis, we have millions of transactions. So we accumulate a large amount of big data. The second characteristic of our big data is actually high quality. What does it mean high quality? Because our business model covers the entire purchase chain. Starting with the user come to our website using our app, his every actions on the app, browsing the products, searching the products, and adding a product onto shopping carts, and then place the order. And then once the order placed, it goes to our backend system, it goes to the warehouse, warehouse people picking up the products and put them in packages, and then send to the delivery station. And then from the delivery station, we have our delivery guy actually pick it up and then give to the customer, hand over to the customer. And then all after that is not stopped there. And after that, we have people could return and could call customer service. We have the entire transactions, all the data. So what we do with the data, here we have a huge opportunity to do with the data. It basically, we can use it for create a very interesting user experience, really a wow type of user experiences. Here I give you an example. We actually use the big data and a sophisticated algorithm to really analysis not just our customer, but also we have established a really sophisticated community portrait profile or neighborhood portrait and profile. So we were able to predict for some of the really interesting items which community were likely to put an order. And with that kind of prediction model and big data, we were able to actually, when iPhone 7 launched, we were able, before the launch day, we were able to place some of those iPhones on our delivery stations. And what happened on that day? So once the launch really start kicking out and started, our customers, one of our customers, the shortest time, take less than 10 minutes after putting out the order on our website and getting their order, getting the iPhone in their hands in 10 minutes. Okay, let's just pause a second. So did any of you remember what happened when iPhone 7 launched, if you have iPhone 7? Most of our customers, some of our customers actually goes to the offline store, Apple store. They have to line up 20 to 30 minutes to get into the store. And then if you're lucky, you get 10 minutes, you spend 10 minutes with the customer service and bring in the phone. And this is the first time that online e-commerce service actually have a shorter time than the offline service. So this is really a showtime example that based on our database and technology and a sophisticated AI algorithm, we can create some really interesting user customer experiences. Okay. The second example is about our logistic networks. And here I'm actually using the drone as an example. So everybody probably already know that because this conference is about innovations. The drone starting to become popular in the US is about a year ago or 2 years ago. And we're taking this technology and thinking about it, how this is going to be applied to Jingdong context, how it's going to solving our business problem. So indeed, actually, we do have a pretty challenging business problem. So, like I said, our logistic network is covered 70% of counties of China. What does it mean is actually we also cover some really rural areas, remote villages. And the delivering product over there sometimes it's really challenging. Even China have grown in 20 years, but in some of the remote areas, the access to them, to those remote villages is still a challenge. Some of them actually only have track roads to getting access to the village. Some of them actually you have to be the access road being cut off by the rivers. Our delivery person have to go through the cables over the rivers to deliver the products. Right? So we take a look at the drone and say, hey, how that gonna improve our operation efficiency and solving our business pain point? And the business pain point is very clear to us. So what we do? So we come up and say, hey, consumer drone is nice, taking photos. But how about actually delivering products between stations or warehouses to delivery stations? And that would be very interesting, really helping us to improve operating efficiency. So basically, starting from last year, and then early this year, we'll launch the world's first commercial drones. And actually, the drones a pilot program is actually covering hundreds of drone bases already in China. And okay, let's play the videos. Here's actually one example. This video shot is really real. As early this year, what we did is actually the first commercial drone to deliver products. What happens actually, this video shot is actually in Jiangsu province. And in one of the remote villages we called Hanja, which is if you're using delivery trucks, it takes about 2 hours for a delivery guy driving the truck, go to the village and actually deliver the products. Now what we did is actually with our commercial drone, we did that delivery in 10 minutes or around about 10 minutes. How we actually accomplished that is actually all the route actually between our warehouses to the delivery drop point on the other side is predefined. And this is very important because really, once you have a predefined drawing, it's not like consumer ones. The drawing have no fixed route, and we set up the fixed route so that the actually government knows actually how our drone going to fly in the space, utilize the space. But it's also actually helping us to control the quality of the flying path and to monitor the conditions and while actually drawing flying. Okay. So this is a very interesting video. So I'm just waiting for the video to finish, and so that you can see that when a technology comes to Jingdong, in the Jingdong's context and business model, how is it going to apply it, innovate it, and solving real problem. Oh, so that's just the book in the box. Okay, there's no iPhones or. So you see that actually any innovations actually take iteration to improve. So we're still in the early stage. Of course, we're pretty aggressive to roll out this whole thing massively in China. So early this year, we signed a contract with Xi'an province, where actually we work with the government and trying to roll out this into Xi'an. Okay, in Xi'an and also Shanxi province. And also, like one more thing I want to actually adding on this, drone is when we start all this technology, we actually trying to solve our own business problem or pain point first. But we also moving towards in the direction that we in the future say, hey, once we build all this product, how do we open up for other business and also to the government? For instance, I don't know how many of you know the news is actually in about 2 weeks actually in Hunan and Changsha, there is a big flood happening, basically. And then people starting using drone to monitoring where the flood goes and what's all the hazardous situation, all that. But there is a real application scenario in here, basically, that drone can using this type of commercial drone can deliver those goods and products to those people who needed the food and waters and all that. So the space of commercial drone, the growing space is huge. Okay. The third example I'm actually using is to illustrate our technology, how we actually work, how actually really helping our Jingdong business is really about dynamic pricing system. This is more like, if people knows about supply chain, this is a kind of a very typical problem, hard problem to solve. The motivation, let me first start with the motivation behind this, is actually we have thousands of people in the office on daily basis to making this kind of a decision, what the decision on dimensions, basically what product to buy from our vendor, and how much we're going to buy, what the price going to setting up, whether it actually need to do promotion or not. And in the product, they also monitoring in what stage the product life cycle is in. But the challenge is actually we have 200 million of products, SKUs. We only have 5,000 people actually doing this. You can imagine actually they cannot cover this entire 200 million SKUs. So how do we solving this problem? So what we have a big data. We have a lot of data about how our actually people making those decisions, like the pricing decisions and all that. So what we do is actually this project is not started after AlphaGo. Okay, it started even before that. 2 years before, like 1 year before AlphaGo. So the goal is really actually we want solving one of our biggest pain point is that we want to scale our business because our SKUs keep growing. At the end of the year, we probably grow into 1 billion of SKUs. And with this kind of a speed, our people, growing the people, it become challenge. That's one thing. Second one is actually, we do realize actually that some of those decisions among those 5,000 people actually is varied. We have top people who actually, top sales, top purchase people making very good decisions, but not necessarily all those 5,000 people. So how do we making this business decision, like human business decisions, more high quality, cover the entire SKU as well as actually cover our, making into our entire workforces, those 5,000 people. So the solution we have basically say, hey, we have a big data. Let's work out some really interesting AI algorithms and build into some algorithms to figure out taking those major factors. This is not easy problems. Like we work with a lot of business professors. You can imagine actually, like once we talk to some of the professors, we realize actually like 1/3, sometimes 1/3 or 1/4 of business school professors are working on supply chains. So this is a bit complex problems. There are many papers published on this. So nowadays, actually, we do have a big data. We have algorithms, AI algorithms. And how do we actually solving this problem? This is really complex because you can think about any of the single SKUs. It has the substitute products. You have to decide actually how many you're going to purchase and if you need to restock them, when you're going to restock them. If it's not selling well, when you're going to do promotions. If the promotion doesn't go well, what are you going to do next? And the goal of this optimization is also varies, depends on what you're trying to achieve. You want to achieve GMV, increase sales, or you want to improve your profitabilities, or you want to actually bring new customers. So they actually really have different goals of different products. So what we do is actually we do create this using big data and algorithms really to create this decision systems that hopefully someday it will be as good as our top people who actually are the best people who are making those decisions. Okay, so this is the third example. I show you actually technology, how you're going to work. But From the second one to third one, the second one actually, take a guess, how many actually deliver person Jingdong has right now as today? Anybody have rough guess? It's 10,000, more than 10,000, 12,000. So it's very labor intensive. That's the nature of the retail and logistic business, right? So what we see actually when we think about it, technology, how AI technology helping us starting late last year, what we actually identified two major areas. It's actually based on our business foundation, two ideas. One is create good customer experiences. That's why actually in our customer-facing products and portals, we leverage a lot of big data and AI technologies and algorithms in, for instance, recommendation, search, and advertisements and all that. And then in the mid and back offices, what we actually truly believe AI can really helping us to reduce human labors extensively someday, and also actually to fuel our business growth. But you can see that as number of SKUs, we're like 200 million, and then end of a year could be 1 billion. And we cannot just adding peoples to do it. Same with our logistics system. As our business grows, we cannot just adding our deliver person, right? So that's basically our thinking and our strategy behind this is like, okay, so we know that AI is really changing the business world, changing everybody's life. And within Jingdong, how actually gonna creating values. There's creating values, two major areas. One is actually creating best user experience. Second is operation efficiency and probabilities and profitabilities. Okay, and then the last one I want to say is actually in the past 12 years, all these technologies and core competency, we are mainly focusing on our own business, e-commerce, how to make our e-commerce user experience better, how to make our operation more efficiencies. But starting this year, middle of this year, early this year, we'll lay out another strategy is actually we open up those core competence to other business or partners. So for instance, the logistic one actually, in the middle, like a month ago or so, we actually made a decision to make it into a separate company so that actually our really good, sophisticated networks and logistic networks and know-how actually and can be opened up to other businesses so that we can helping all the other 2B businesses actually do their retail stuff, right? And the last one is I won't say too much, but it's in the planning within the company, is basically think about, because Jingdong, like our founder said, we're in retail business, but so far we only focus on online retail business. But what about offline? We are thinking about offline as well, because Jingdong as a true retail company, we actually have the most advantage really to innovate and disrupt and changing the offline stores and retail business in a big way, starting from logistic, providing the goods, and also the purchasing, and also the big data technology in the store. We can think about using technologies to really think about how to really changing people coming into the the offline store, how to having a very good experiences, do it in an innovation way, do it rely on technology. So, Jingdong have a great 12 years in the past. But looking forward, we think technology will really fuel and driving the next 12 years great growth. So that's my talk. Thanks.